All right, all right, all right, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. I really appreciate it. I really didn't have anything I wanted to talk about when I wanted to make this an open session and ask some questions. I do have videos to show as usual, just some stuff from the gram and stuff I saw on YouTube. So we'll definitely do that. But I want to, just make this a session that you guys can ask me a question and all that. So to the hellos, 12 people watching thus far. Hello, A Good. Thank you so much for coming on, and everyone else who's watching and will watch in the future. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Hello, Deborah. Hello, NW. Thank you guys so much for checking out the show. I really appreciate it. You guys can always send me a video. I just saw one on Instagram. So I don't think I'll get to that one today. I know you guys like the salacious stuff anyway, right? You guys want let's talk about dating. Let's talk about dating. What's going on with the dating world? So I'll try to do self-improvement type of stuff. You guys want to talk about dating, but it's all good. It's all good. And dating is part of the self-improvement. Hello, glorious love, and to everyone else who's watching. And everyone else who will watch in the future. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. I do have a couple of videos to show here, so we'll jump right into it. So if anybody has any questions, and certainly as usual, if you would like to come up a little bit later, it will always be open to you. Don't tell me I closed my Facebook here. I got to reopen Facebook. That's what happens when you got to be. Oh wait, here it is. No, here it is. Interesting gold sword. You mean in the back there? That's actually Thor's hammer. This is from a video game, God of War. So it's Thor's hammer. So yeah, I'm a big video game head. So yeah, I'm a video game head there. Yeah. Yeah, so there's a video game that came out, I think like 2 years ago now, called God of War. And if you ordered this, did the pre-order stuff, you got this video, you got the sword and a couple other stuff. I mean, you got me calling it now a sword. It's a hammer. So, incidentally, I know you guys are mostly ladies here, but there was a show on Netflix called something on the gods, Fall of the Gods, and it's about Thor and stuff. So, but anyway. It's on Netflix. Something Fall of the Gods or something like that. I'm going to need to talk to you about the 4B and your thoughts. Absolutely. We'll get into it. Certainly. Let me play a couple of videos, and we can certainly go into the 4B stuff. We'll talk about it. So a couple of videos here. First one is, I think this one is a skit. First one I think is a skit, but I would like to know your guys' thoughts and opinions. So here we go. Let me get present here. Share screen, Facebook. I think this is a skit once again, but you can see the stranger pays for my food and gets mad. I ordered an extra plate for my son. So apparently some guy is shooting his shot at, again, this may be a skit, so who knows, but let's just get your opinion. Some guy is shooting a shot. So as soon as he shoots his shot, he's like, oh, me pay for your food. Then she orders another plate for her son to go. So let's get your thoughts about this. Let me...
Yeah, I'm getting some food for my son. I
said I want to pay for your food.
You got a problem with paying for another plate for my son?
I mean, I don't, but...
You just asked to pay for my food, but you can't pay for my son's food? What I gotta ask you for? You're in my face wanting to pay for my food.
Yeah, I'm going to pay for
So I'm getting extra food. My son gotta eat
You ain't
too.
even let me know your name. What's your name?
I don't need...
What is your name?
My name is
I
Audrey.
can pay for food for your son.
Yes, my son. He's going to eat good. What's the problem? You sound broke. Like you should have offered anyway.
Money. It's just it's the principle behind it.
What's the principle? The fact that I'm getting some more food for my son, making sure he eats. You're paying, so
now you find food for everybody.
I have a kid. So you want to pay for my food? You're gonna pay for my son's food.
Good. Trying to be nice.
Yeah, you're the one bothering me. Like you don't want to,
like
you acting like you broke here at Gold Trust. You broke?
No, I got the money. I told you. I'm just trying to pay for your food.
Now I'm gonna say I'm not sure if this is a.
All right, so I got that from my man CJ Salter. He does some good work. He's just on Facebook, so you guys can go over there and check him out over there. But what are your thoughts about this? Right, he's going to give his thoughts. His thoughts are going to be very, very similar to mine. And I'd like to know your thoughts there. Why don't he walk away? That's not his problem. Well, he's making it his problem, right? He's making it his problem. Let's see. No, man, he should just leave and not pay for anything. Face palm. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild, right? So I mean, I think we all are pretty much in agreement about this, that this is just nuts. Again, this is probably a skit. But to pay to go up to somebody, and first of all, he didn't even have her name, so his game is weak, right? You don't even have her name yet. You don't have a name. You go over to pay for somebody's food, and hopefully she'll give you food. And this is the same thing I said the other day about the paying for drinks and stuff at the bars. Listen, no. Pandering a business. That's the correct name for this, right? Pandering. As much as this may be a skit, there's lots of video evidence of women expecting you to pay a babysitter for a date. Yeah, pay for the Ubers, pay for the babysitters. And sometimes pay for them to bring food home. For my kids, I got 2 kids at home. They need to eat too. So you need to do all this, right? This is, and this is, entitlement stems from, you doing stuff like this. Guys out here doing stuff like this. Why would you do that? Unless I can't understand why you do this. Listen, I'll get your name, I'll get your number, and maybe I'll see you again. I'll pay for it the next time, but I'm not paying right now. That's crazy. No shame, leave. I can't tell what that is. I can't tell what those emojis are. Let me turn this off here, the banners. They see us as extra pockets because we allowed ourselves to be seen that way for far too long. For far too long. We have allowed them to see us in this light. Yes. So I think we're all in agreement about that crazy. I'm going to assume it's a skit. Thank you to. I'm here for brother. Feel free to swing that hammer. Yes. Yes, Twilight of the Gods. Thank you, Mr. Stu 97. Thank you for that. Twilight of the Gods. I actually enjoyed that very much. I'm hoping they do another season of it. And I also just watched on Netflix Blue Eye Samurai. That was pretty good. So a lot of female empowerment going on in both of those movies. But if you can get past that, it was definitely good. And yes, Zack Snyder is the director, so he's had a lot of misses. I don't think that there's, I don't know, the last good Zack Snyder's movie. I mean, besides, what was it? 300 was good. I didn't enjoy Justice Leagues. I didn't enjoy any of those. That new one that he did about kind of like, it was kind of like a ripoff of Star Wars. I can't remember the name of that. You guys might remember that, but it's on Netflix too. Or is it? Yeah, it's on Netflix. I don't think that was any good. So I don't Zack Snyder, but I thought he did good with Twilight of the Gods. Let's see. Erod, happy Sunday to you. This is not a good. She put her date on blast. Yeah, probably. If it is a skit, she acted her part very well. Listen, there's some good actresses out here. I'm going to tell you right now. It's some good actresses out here. Some good actresses. All right. So we'll get out of this and go to another video. We'll play another video and then we'll get into the 4B movement. Let me know who wanted that. Glorious. If you want to come up, let me know. Type a yes if you want to come up or you want to wait. or you just want me to talk about it. But I'll be, and I'll let you come up. We can talk about the 4B movement. We can turn this into that. Let's see. Should the woman have the last say? We'll play this one. What are you guys' thoughts about this?
Should your wife have the last say so in the household?
No.
Your face. I say it just depends, because sometimes the wife may be stronger in certain areas. Let's just say the husband is not good at managing a certain thing and the wife is stronger in that certain area. Do you believe that the wife should have the input in that area?
I think input is different from final say so. I think to be a wife, at least the type of wife that I aspire to be, which is a high value, feminine, high earning woman that is partnered with a high value, high earning masculine man. Ultimately, my input and feeling heard and acknowledged and seen, that's important to me. That's very important to me. However, ultimately the decision is his, because I'm submitted to the mission of the God that's inside of him. And so ultimately, if I'm better at finances, or I'm better at really anything, I'm definitely going to place my input. And a true leader knows when it's time to follow, which is why it's important inside of your partner choice. If you're choosing someone that's more in their ego, that needs to be like, well, what I say goes, rah, 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 that's not really the person that you want. You don't want them to have the final say so. But if you have a true leader that knows who they are, they know where they're going, they know the purpose, and they want what's good for the colony, then they're going to take your input, and the final say so will really be what you said in the first place. Can you be feminine enough to plant that seed in the man so that he feels like it's his idea anyway, and then celebrate him for when he does it? Because ultimately, the woman is the conductor in the household. You just don't see her because her back is turned.
Break that down for me, please.
If you go watch an orchestra, you have all of this music that's playing. That's the man. The man is providing. He's doing this. Sometimes it's brash. Sometimes it's strong. Sometimes it's quiet. It's all of this different things, harmonies that are happening. He's running the household. But the conductor is there saying, this is when it's time to do this. Hey, not right now. You gotta stop that. Hey, you need to come right here. You're literally orchestrating the household.
But who writes the music?
God.
Ooh.
That's the purpose. That's the alignment.
Like that.
That's the source.
Should your wife have the last say so in the household?
No.
That no at the end was it for me. What are you guys' thoughts about this? What are you guys' thoughts? I didn't like the conductor. I understood what she's saying. I didn't like the conductor analogy. I thought if anybody would be the conductor, it would be the man, because he's giving directions. Here's this, here's that, and you play your part. You as the kids play your part. Whatever's going on, I think that was probably would have been a better. I think she kind of, I mean, she's saying that she's submitting herself to God somehow. So that would be my only complaint about that. But she doesn't believe that the guy should have the final say, and the conductor really has the final say, right? He's right. You're going to his beat. You're going to his drum, right? I mean, so if he's got the final say, how can you be the conductor? So I didn't like that analogy. Yeah, that no part was cute. Yeah, no. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, listen, that conductor thing, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. I mean, it was a nice try, but that wasn't it. That wasn't it. All right. I'll take this down and I will talk about the 4B movement. Anybody else want to say anything else about this? Anything that you noticed? Did anybody disagree? Anybody in here disagree? Should the wife have the last say? Should the wife have the last say? Feel free to disagree, and then I will kindly and gently tell you why you're wrong. Let's see. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let's see. Stop screen share, present. Submitting to God. Submitting to God. God is over the husband, then her. Submitting to God. God is over the husband, then her. I think she's with the man because she can control him. Yeah, there might be a little bit of that, right? I'm guaranteed if she says no the right way or she says yes the right way, the guy will probably melt like butter, right? Oh, okay. Good question there, Kim. What are your thoughts about that? And this becomes a problem. I actually was thinking about talking about this when the woman. Man, I should have did this tonight. I was actually thinking about talking about this. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit more on Wednesday, but we'll see how far we dig into this tonight. What happens when the woman makes more than the man? What happens and who should be in control when the woman makes more than the man? It's a good question there, Kim. Is there any woman in here listening right now? Maybe I'll make this a poll and so you guys can check it out. Is there any woman in here right now who is comfortable with, wants your man to make more than you? Is there any woman in here who wants your man, wants to make more than your man, or is comfortable with your man making less than you? You're comfortable with your man making less than you. You want to make more than your man. How is there anybody in here who think that that's okay? It's all right. We're partners. We're equals. We should make equal. And if it, what are your thoughts just about the money aspect of it? Just the money aspect of it. What are your thoughts about that? Oh, wait, can I start a poll in here? Can I start a poll in the chat? Live chat man funding. I thought I could start a poll in the chat. Oh, here we go. Here's a poll. Okay, let me write this down here. Are you okay? Are you, as a woman, okay with your man making less than you? Yes, no. Are you okay? Are you as a woman okay with your man making less? Let me make this specific. All right, the poll is in the chat. You too funny. I'm keeping my answer. Problem is, marital laws doesn't give the husband rights to enforce his leadership. That's very true, Mr. Stewart. And I'm not referring to any kind of abuse. Having God be at the forefront is the only way. I actually agree with that. I think that is a vital. I played the attorney before. I'm not sure if I can. I don't know if I saved it or not on my computer, but I played the attorney before. Let me remove this here. I played the attorney before who talked about the same exact thing that you're talking about, Mr. Stewart. Is that if there's a divorce or something like that, the only thing that the government is going to enforce is the monetary provision type of stuff, and the cleaning of the house, the intimacy, none of that. They're not going to the care, the love, not even the care for the children, right? I mean besides out of finances, right, the way they rear the children, they don't. The only thing they're going to enforce is that. Let's see. It's God, then husband, then man, then kids, etc. That's what God over the wife. God is over everything. Then I guess you say Christ is over the church. Church is, and then God is over the husband, over the wife, over the children. I guess that's how it goes. Anyone else disagree? I would like my man to make more. I would like my man to make more than me. Okay, but you asked the question there, Kim. I'm going to put you on the spot again. You want your man to make more than you. So what about if he doesn't? If he doesn't, does he still have the final say? Can he still be the director? Can he still be the conductor? Can he still do that if he doesn't make as much? Right? Does he have to lower his voice when he talks to you? Right? You ain't making all this money up in here. Lower your voice when you talk to me. Right? Okay. Let's check out this poll here. Are you as a woman okay? 67% said said no. I need some of y'all yeses to get in this chat. 33% have said yes. 33% have said yes. Why are you saying yes? Educate me. Educate me about, you're okay with that? I mean, do you not think that that's taking away from his manhood? Do you not, would you be able to look up to him? Would you be able to follow his leadership direction? I recognize that everybody doesn't believe in all that, but I just want to know, your thoughts, your opinions about that. It's God, then husband and man, wife. My husband, RIP, made less than me, but he controlled the finances. Okay. I met a couple ladies who were really, really good at finances. I'm like, oh man, you guys are good. you guys, could had literally every penny accounted for. Okay, you got it. If you're that way, you got it. I've seen a lot of moving the goalposts. Even if he makes more, it has to be a lot more, right? It can't be $5 or $10 more, right? Or $1,000 more. It's got to be like, some say, I've heard between 30% more and 60% more. Those are the numbers. So that's what I've heard. A lot more. Let's see. It's 36% are saying yes. 64% are saying no. So interesting stuff. I got to make sure that this chat is available. Reactions, pop out chat. I got to make sure that this chat is available when the live chat is for the recordings. I want people to be able to see that. Some messages can be seen. I hope that this chat is available when we close it out. All right. So that's that. I do have some more videos, but I got a good question, and we're going to talk about the 4B movement and what that is. If anyone has not heard about the 4B movement, let me make this a little bit smaller. If anyone has not heard about the 4B movement is something that started in Korea. It's not as big as people think that it is. Everybody's, well, let me say, there's a lot of people talking about it. A lot of people are discussing this in, so-called red pill spaces and probably even some feminist spaces. But, this is a quick Wikipedia search, so take this for what it is. 4Bs are 4 No's is a radical feminist movement. Let me see if you guys can see this here. Which is purported to have originated in South Korea 2019. Its proponents refuse to date men, get married, have sex, or have children. The 4 No's are no sex with men. In Korea, it's Biseku. I obviously don't speak Korean. No giving birth, Bishulan. No dating men, Bayone, and no marriage with men, Bihon. So it goes back to these different type of stuff, and it's kind of like the Me Too movement here. It's not that big, and I think between 500 to 4,000 claimed participants. I've heard as many as 30,000, but in a country, I don't know how big Korea is. How many people live in South Korea? 51 million people. So 51 million people, if there's 30 adherents, females, males and females, right? So there's probably, so let's just say there's 26, 27 million ladies, 30,000 is nothing. So it's something that is talked about, but it's not that big of a movement. But it's kind of their Me Too movement, and they're saying that because they think that it's a culture of male domination, and they don't like that, and they want to get rid of the conservative society, in all that, right? They want more rights than what they're getting, and all that. I am not an expert on Korean society, the patriarchal system that goes there. I understand it's very, very patriarchal, and what I've heard in other podcasts, people who have looked into it far more than my quick search right here, is that it's a patriarchal society that really picked up post 1950s, right? Because they had to split between North and South Korea in the 1950s or so due to the wars and all that, which technically we're still at war. Those two countries are still at war, right? Technically, it's really just a ceasefire. There's been no declared peace treaty, so they're technically still at war. If anybody didn't know that, so as a result of that, right, so South Korea became more aligned with the United States, freedom, democracy, and all that. And so, as a result of their former agrarian society, they modernized, thanks to a lot of U.S. investments and all this kind of stuff. And so now they want the same type of feminist rights and all that we have. And so this is where it is. And they're refusing to now date men, have children, get married, and give birth, right? And not even going to have sex with men, right? They want a complete, they're calling for a complete and utter shutdown of that. So my thoughts about it are, I think that unfortunately, my thoughts are that unfortunately, something happens when ladies get more rights. I think that we talked about this when good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, it's a new adjustment that people have to get used to. I think that I don't think that we really know what's going to happen. We have models of it. We talked about the Mouse Utopia experiment. What happens when things start to change drastically? But ladies were entering the workforce, and then they're not tied to modern or traditional values where the man was in charge, and as we just talked about, men leading the home financially. They don't want to be under their father's rule, big brother's rule, their uncle's rule, right? They want to be free and independent within themselves. And so next thing you know, they want to control. They are taking control of their bodies, and they're refusing to have sex, give birth, date, and no marriage. But what does that do to the economy? What is that going to do to the future generations? And now I don't know to the extent, but I've heard that Korean men are doing the same thing that Chinese men are doing. If you're not aware what Chinese men are doing, I talked about this. Chinese men who have been driven, who the marketplace, same thing is going on in the marketplace with the Chinese relationships. Those relationships where there's think about this, there's an excess of like something like 38 million men, and the ladies would theoretically have the pick of the litter, but they can't find anyone because their standards are too high. The guy's got to be so tall, he's got to make so much money, he's got to be able to provide a dowry, which is upfront money, something between, I've heard, between $27,000 equivalent to $82,000 equivalent, just being able to give that amount of money. And then some of them want a continued stipend every month, $2,000 stipend equivalent. I mean, obviously they use the yen or whatever their monetary, pretty sure it's the yen. So you got to give that to them every month just to be my wife. So guys are like, oh, I'm not dealing with that. So they're going to Russia, they're going to Africa, they're going to the Philippines, they're going to Thailand, they're going to other places to get wives, and then they're bringing them back. I talked about this in other shows. So the Korean men might start doing the same thing. And some of these places, even though that, you think about Seoul being really built up, some of these places, particularly in China, they're not as built up as people think they are, right? You got your big cities, you got your big cities, but some of those places are still very agrarian, right? And so some of these ladies are like, listen, I left the countryside, I went here, I got a master's degree, and now I wanted the guy who wants a master's degree, but now they're 38, 40 years old because of the time they took for them to build up, and they want somebody who's better than them, like we just talked about. They want somebody who's better than them, making more money than them, but those guys are not looking for them. They're looking for the 25-year-olds who are still young enough to have a bunch of different kids. And so some of the Chinese ladies were complaining about the only guys that are even interested in me are the guys who are backwards, who are left in the farms, and I don't want those guys. So this is where it is. This is what was called the tall girl problem, right? If you're a tall girl, you're a 6-foot girl, the only people that really generally going to be interested in you, are guys, or I should say it like this: if you're a 6-foot woman, the only people that generally that you're going to be interested in are guys who are much taller than you, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", and up. But those guys have the pick of the litter. So this is the tall girl problem financially. You're making more, you're more educated, this and the other. And generally, as the poll is continuing to show, what's the poll numbers now? You guys still checking out the polls here. As the poll is continuing to show, 57% of you still want your men to make more. I think it's more than. I think you guys are playing around. I don't think 43% of you all want to make more than your. I don't think you guys are being honest about that. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that at all. I just want you to know I don't believe that. I do not believe that 43% of you want or are okay with making more money than your man. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Let me get to some of these thoughts here. Where am I at here? My husband, okay, let's see. Is debt to income included? Cards, credit bills? That's a good question. Is debt to income ratio included in that as far as making more? That's got to be, right? I mean, debt to income, you know, you're going to take somebody with the credit card bills? You got to pay student loans, particularly here in America? I've seen a lot of moving the goalposts, even makes a lot more, right? I'm going to sound really like a subservient kind of person. I made more than my husband. My husband controlled the finances, gave me an allowance. Wow, that does sound subservient, Glorious. I mean, but if you guys made it work and he had plans to invest and made sure the bills would work, okay. But yeah, listen, that sounds good to me, but you're going to get picked on. I would try to allow him to lead, but that may be hard if there's such a thing as a submissive provider. Well, Glorious was definitely one of those. I appreciate your honesty, but I know, because you can't, I don't think you can look at this man. I just think in all honesty, I just think it's difficult to look at a man as that. And I was watching a podcast last night, and I'm not going to try to find it now, but but just last night I was watching somebody talk about this, right? And they were talking about the tall girl problem. The more you make, the more education you have, the less opportunities you have for dating and mating. And so the question that the interviewer and the interviewee, and even I'm asking, is, so why aren't we investing in boys? If ladies want a provider, a protector, and somebody who makes more than them, 30% more, 60% more, and if this is something that's going on in China, it tells you, to me, and these are different cultures, it says to me that this is an inherent biological need and concern, that when you are a lady or a female and you want to know that your mate can provide for you when and if you get pregnant, it's biological. Seems obvious to me. So why aren't we investing more in boys? When I talked about the movies, the Blue Eye Samurai and Twilight of the Gods, right? I talked about the female empowerment stuff, right? And listen, if you go out to the workplace, you deserve to make as much as anybody else. I don't have an issue with that. But I think a problem is that we're not telling boys that they can do certain things. When you're watching these movies and you're watching this stuff, and it's an indoctrination process. There is an indoctrination process. There's another show that's on Netflix. It's called The Diplomat. Good show. I actually really, really like it. And they're coming out with a second season. And I meant to do this on my other platform, and maybe I'll do it here at some point. But I'm going to talk about it right now, obviously. There was at least 3 different occasions on that show where the wife is the diplomat, and the husband was a high-powered Washington insider, diplomat, whatever he was. He's no longer that. Now he's just kind of retiring or whatever. And on numerous occasions on the show, he calls himself the wife. Numerous episodes, numerous occasions. In one episode, oh no, don't talk to me, I'm the wife, go talk to her. Why are we telling men to do this if it's obvious to me that it's a biological imperative? Just my thoughts about that. Just my thoughts. Basically rebellion, probably. How do you explain the drastic reduction in the birth rate that is believed to have been impacted by that movement? Well, they're not having babies. The better any society does, and this is, again, the Mouse Utopia experiment, but the better any society. France has the same problems. I think the same problems are in the Netherlands, and a couple of other Nordic countries, England. That's why they had to import. That's why they're importing here. Don't believe any politician, whether it's those in Europe or those in America. Migration is necessary because the ladies don't want to have babies. The better ladies do, they put off childbearing. Before, your grandparents probably had 5, 10, 15 kids, literally, right? We all know some grandparents who had 12 kids, right? That's not happening anymore. Ladies are putting off their education. They're putting off marriage. They're putting off having babies in favor of getting education and in favor of moving up the corporate ladder. And then when they turn 38, 39, then they want to start having kids. So this causes a birth dearth. And so this is why there's a drastic reduction. Seoul is going through the same thing. China's going through the same thing. They still have a lot, but it's all the same thing. And America's going through the same thing. The replacement rate of just the natural born citizens, which in many of these countries is like at 1. You need to be at 2.1 or 2.5 or something like that. In other words, to increase your society, you need to, you got a male and female that have a baby. So you got to produce 2 kids and another one. Really, it's really 3 kids to grow at minimum 3 kids to grow your society. People have accidents and people die. So you got to have 3, 4, 5 kids, right? To grow. So I don't know. I don't have the numbers in front of me. You guys can Google this, right? The United States of natural born citizens is like 1.9. It's barely at stability rate. Same thing that's going on in Europe. So this is what's going on in Korea, China, and all these other places. The only places that are growing are third world countries as far as population. Mostly African countries, South American countries. Those are the places that are growing as far as people. That's why they're coming here, right? You guys got all the people. The people here don't want to have babies, right? We can't afford it, right? We got to pay for college. It costs $300,000 to raise a baby from the time they're born to the time they're an adult, right? Nobody wants to do that. Even my daughter said the same thing. Do I want to bring a baby into this world? I'm like, yeah, you do, because I need some grandchildren. But she's thinking about the finances about this, right? And can she get a mate? And will the mate have enough money? And getting laid off? And what about this? And what about that? So these are concerns of hers. So for more than 70 years, listen, there's a book about that. I can't remember. I have it here somewhere. Something like in the history of the U.S. at post the Civil War, let's just call it post the Civil War. I think there's something like 10 years the United States has not been in war. Some type of conflict. Korean War, it was after the Civil War, right? The Spanish-American War, all these different wars we don't even think about, right? Mexican War, just a bunch of different wars. So when you look at all the different conflicts, and those are just the ones we call wars, all the different skirmishes and conflicts, and invading Panama and in Grenada, United States invading Grenada. Come on, what is that, right? Sending military troops to Haiti, all those little stuff that we don't really talk about. It's something like 10 years of the United States history that we have not been in war. Think about that. You want to know your dollars are going, why they can't get control of the budget? I think the Western adaptation movement is far less to do with women's rights. I think it's leaning more to a relationship between men and women. They're probably having the same. It's probably different. Yeah, culturally, the United States. I think the Western adaptation of the movement is far less to do with women's rights. No, I think the women. I don't know what's going on here in America. I think that a lot of times ladies are just mad. They're just upset. And a lot of it is just a ploy for power. There's a lady I was listening to, Camille Paglia. I don't know how she says her name. She's Italian. She's on YouTube. Well, she's got older videos. These are like 5 years old. But she talks about this, right? She's like, she was a feminist, but she's like, now the feminist movement has gone too far. It's gone too far. What are you even fighting for, right? She thinks the Me Too movement is wrong. So how tall is the average Chinese man? I think 5'7", 5'8", I think, something like that. It's not much different than the US. Yeah, and so they want guys who are 5'10". Here in America, they want them 6 feet, right? But over in China, he's got to be 5'10". So even if you're 5'8", the average guy, right? It doesn't matter, right? The average American guy is 5'9", and that's still too short for a lot of ladies, not for everyone, but yeah, it's crazy. To me, it doesn't make sense. Your family line will come to an end. Society will collapse. Men and women need each other. Harmonious relationships provide fulfillment and sense of purpose. Absolutely. So this is the mouse trap. This is the mouse experiment, utopia experiment, where when everything was right, when there's no struggle, no you get food every day, there's temperatures good, no predators, something just happens to mammals and they just go extinct. They just get crazy. Why would you not believe that a woman would be okay with her husband not making as much as her? I am an anomaly, even though my medical provider's husband is a UPS driver. I think that now it's 52%. I know you guys are just trolling me now. I just don't think that it's in the nature of women to want a man to be better than her in some ways. I just have a hard time believing that. I have a hard time believing that the human species has been around for what, 300,000 years. Obviously, if you believe in evolution. So now within the last 40 years, now it's okay. I mean, imagine, and it's only because of the financial system that we're living in, right? Think about that, right? If we were still living on the plains of Africa, or the caves of Europe, or the plains of North America, wherever people's their ancestry is, would you be okay with it? What woman would be out there going out there hunting down woolly mammoths and saber-toothed tigers? And it would be unheard of. It would be ridiculous. Right. So, but now, because of the aid of technology, okay, now I can make more than my man. And listen, that may work, and sometimes things are what they are, but I just don't think that the majority of women. I think that the majority of women still want a man who is somehow, some way better than them. And I think that the 4B movement and what's going on in China and what's going on here in America and going on in these other different countries is proof of that, right? This phenomenon is not that. So are there some ladies who are okay with that? Absolutely. But I think that the vast majority of us, the vast majority of ladies, still want a man who's better than them, taller than them, making more money, smarter than them, knows more, higher social status, somebody you can look up to. I think evolutionary psychology tells us that. Well, because there are a lot that want the cake and also eat it too. Your dude is trustworthy. Obviously, he has a head for numbers. Yeah. Just like STEM has been promoted to women when the last time they ever done a rally for men in nursing, for example, that pays well, especially that's a good point, pandering. They don't do rallies for particularly for men to join, because there's a black male problem with schools, right? When's the last time you saw a rally or some type of governmental intrusion to get more black teachers, male teachers in school, right? But they do that for STEM. And the ironic thing is when they do this type of STEM type of push, or when they let people go, this has been done in some Nordic countries, the women still tend to want to do more nurturing type of things, enter into childcare, enter the social scientists, become social workers, become psychologists, where the guys are still doing the ones becoming construction workers or entering the STEM fields. So it's just a natural progression, and they don't like it and they try to steer it the other way, but it just is what it is. Men and women are just different. Men and women are just different. Yes, U.S. has a birth rate as well. I'm probably a little behind in these. It's the image that women have a problem with. Salary, looks. It's if the man doesn't fit that image, the relationship doesn't work. I think that women can be more picky. I think that women, to your point, Miles, can be more pickier today. So there's a guy I've talked about to him before. He's a Chinese historian. He's on YouTube. I haven't watched any of his videos in a little while. I don't know if he's still doing them, but he was living in Canada. He said he was going to go back to China, where his home is. And anyway, so he's talked about this, and so he talked about his father. He talked about his father was 5'3", 5'4", something like that, was illiterate, in the 1950s or so, but he had a good wife who loved him, this, that, and the other. He said, imagine a guy like that today wouldn't even be looked at, right? So the standards are shot way up. In the 1950s, that might have been okay. Guy, obviously the guy had a wife, and he produced a Chinese historian. I think he had a brother or two or something like that. But now, a 5'3" guy who can't read is not getting any action. So the standards have been raised, and that's fine. But you also should raise the standards and elevate the boys so they can meet those type of standards. Now, to be 5'3" or whatever, better food will make you taller. A lot of people don't realize that, right? A lot of times people get stunted because they don't have the nutrition. It's not just about genetics, but it's also about, you can be designed to be 5'9", but if you don't get the food intake, you will only turn out to be 5'4" or 5'5". So the better you eat, right? So all that matters. It also goes into intelligence as well, right? Better food, better toys, all that makes your brain bigger, and so you become more intelligent. So all that matters. Strong society, strong men. We need development of investment in our boys. Absolutely. I understand why they are putting off having kids. They are making money and are comfortable. Why give that up? Kids are expensive. Agreed. Yeah. Well, there's a trade-off. There's a trade-off. Nah, in the USA, 6'3" the standard. 6'3" for a man? Probably. Probably. I mean, I'm not 6'3", and I do okay. I'm sure if I was 6'3", I'd probably get a lot more. But everybody's not like that. I must admit that my husband was smarter, bigger, and stronger than me. It just happened to make more. Yeah. So that probably outweighed that. But if he was not as smart, not as big, and not as strong, but you made more money, you wouldn't even look at this guy, right? Not opposed to 50-50. You guys are definitely trolling me. You guys are definitely trolling me. All right. Anything else about that 4B movement? So that's what's going on in the 4B movement overseas and all that. All right. So I do have a couple more videos to play. All right, so we played this video before. Here's a take. Remember, this is the woman from. She went to the bar in Texas, I think, and the guys wouldn't stand up. But this is a woman reacting to it, so I want to play her reaction to this.
What happened with the chivalry? You see that bar? You see the bar full of men sitting down, literally just watching women in heels stand up. Like,
you want to know what happened? I'm going to tell you what happened. See, what y'all girls don't understand is that when men get online, they actually be paying attention to the stuff that y'all be saying and doing, right? Especially when attractive girls get online and say and do stuff. That's who they be focused on. So every time you see a pretty girl make a video and talk about how she be disgusted when men talk to her when she out, how she don't like it when men look at her, men have conversations with her, don't talk to her. Like when she makes videos like that, the men are paying attention. When women like that are making videos, the men are paying attention, right? And so they figure, okay, well, this must be what it is. This must be what women want. Right? It don't matter about the women who ain't really that attractive who get online and be like, oh my God, we want you to talk to us when you out. Like they're not listening to you. They listening to the girls who they find attractive and what those girls are saying, right? So you can't counteract the girls who they find to be attractive and them saying silly stuff online. So back to the point. Because those girls are getting online and saying silly stuff like that, when men go out now, they not hollering at you, they not bothering you, and they not getting up out their seat to let you have it. You know why? Because you've gotten online and showed how entitled you are, and you've shown how disrespectful a lot of y'all are. Why would somebody want to give up their seat for you? Right? You knew you was going to be standing up when you put the heels on. It is what it is. But for y'all to think that you can keep getting online and saying all of this outrageous stuff so that you can be a girl's girl and get follows and likes from other women and think that this stuff is not going to show up in real life some kind of way, it is. See, here's the thing. When men get online and they try to give women advice and tell women about what type of women they like, what they're attracted to, what they want, women meet them with, oh my God, we don't care what you want. We don't care, right? Because you're a girl's girl and you're trying to impress other women. So for the sake of that, it going one ear and out the other. When men try to give you good advice about men is trying to play you in real life and tell you that if a man just trying to go with the flow of BSing you about a title, he don't really want you. The way that's going in one ear and out the other, you think that that's what men doing too. But they not. They actually using social media to gauge how to deal with y'all in real life. And so because of that, that is the reason why I said when you going out, they ain't bothering you no more. When you going out, they ain't giving up their seat to you, right? Because remember when y'all get online and y'all try to make it seem like anybody who say anything to you must be trying to attack you. Remember that man versus bear? Remember, you can't just get on here and just be saying anything, right? And then think that ain't nobody gonna take it serious or think that there is some truth to what you be saying. So if you needed an answer to that question, there it is.
Mic drop. Mic drop. Mic drop. Thoughts about that? I think that there's a big push to say that social media isn't real life, but I think it's vastly real life. I think that social media is really infecting a lot of people's minds. Not everyone's, obviously, but there's something bad going on out here with social media. Social media. Hello, October. Thank you for joining. You also have to admit that we came from a community where the men historically didn't make as much as the women did, but the women in those days had to submit to their husbands. And I think there's a lot of rebellion about that. I think there's a lot of anger, particularly in the Black community. There's a lot of anger about that. And this type of attitude that this young woman would just address in that video was speaking to that in an indirect way. There's a lot of anger about it. And like, we don't want to submit to Dusty Dude. We're not doing this. I saw my aunts do it. I saw my mother do it. I saw them all being taken advantage of, whatever. And so, they allowed the government, again, this is a pushback that a lot of people don't want to hear. They allowed the government to prop them up and always exploiting the Black male, from mass incarceration to lynchings to the assassination of prominent leaders, just constant harassment, burning down of our establishments, of our businesses, all that type of stuff, right? And now there's a pushback. And now when you get college educations and you get to advance in a, just want to kind of look back and say that this was an issue. So this is I think, chickens coming home to roost, if you will. No lies detected. When the grid goes down and the internet is shut off, how are people going to relate to one another? That is when the people in this society allow AI to dictate their real life experiences. This is so sad. Listen, this is why I say, we created this artificial world, because we have this first world technology and the internet, and we got electricity, and you don't think you need men. Okay. I hope that holds up. Listen, I don't want a disaster to happen, but but when those times come, or if they come, hopefully they don't, but if they do come, you want a strong man, and to at least put the power back on and to protect you and the society to some extent, when all that goes off. So I'm just saying, true to an extent, it's hard to determine who are the normal average women not online. Even those girls coming out with the outrageous standards. I'm hoping that's not the case, but it's hard to imagine that's not it, because if you're online, right? If you're a woman and you're online and you're semi-attractive, your emails are constantly being flooded. So a guy who's 5'8", 5'9", I mean, he doesn't have a shot between a guy who lives in 2 states over who's 6'3". Does he? I don't know. You tell me. These weren't issues. These weren't issues 50 years ago. They weren't issues. Now they are. And the whole society is not handling them very well. What was the purpose of AI being invented? Someone with a real sick mind had to come up with that. Clearly someone antisocial and possibly a recluse. Listen, I think that there's so much stuff out there that we don't even know about. I think that there's, and listen, how many movies, seriously, how many movies have talked about robots taking over and killing humanity? Terminator, iRobot, what other movies are out there? I mean, just, I can't. Those are the two ones that come to mind. Like, they're gonna come alive. You know that they are, right? Age of Ultron, Marvels, all about AI coming alive. Crazy, right? Doesn't Elon Musk have the robots now? Right? Didn't he just roll off $30,000 costing robots that help you out and stuff? Now there's going to be sex robots. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. Humanity is gonna drop ourselves extinct. As a single man, I'm just looking for a female company for a few hours. Seems like women are looking for that forever person. Could be a problem. Well, brother, I gotta tell you, that's probably gonna be a problem when you say just for a few hours. I mean, they're gonna want to be there forever. You know, a good woman's gonna want to be there forever. They're not just going to entertain you for a couple of hours. So that might be an issue. It's the bar owner's fault for not having enough seating. Probably. Probably. All right, another video here. Two more these are all short videos. This one's long. Let's see. So here's a woman who broke up her home. I really want to hear you ladies' opinion about this one. Here's a lady who broke up her home.
I get a divorce after 25 years of marriage. The short answer is because it is not too late to be happy. And I finally got to a point at the beginning of the year where I decided that it wasn't too late to be happy. I still have hopefully many more years left, and I would like to be happy for those.
And will sacrifice happiness for their families. And, there's a lot of women out here that choose to sacrifice their family for their happiness. It really, really is sad, man. There are women out here that won't take your vows seriously. They don't care, man. They don't give a fuck. There's never been more of an important choice for the dudes out here in 2024 to pick and choose wisely, man. You make the wrong choice, this is what you have to be dealing with. I talk to men around the world that are going through this every day. Or wife leaving them after 10 years, 15 years. I just want to be happy. They think the grass is greener. The grass is greener where they water it. The grass is going to be greener where you water it. It's a cold lesson that a lot of men and women out here are learning. They come back 5 years later. Oh, I'm so sorry. Never ever take them back, homie. Stay cold out here, man. Find a purpose, find a mission, and find God. He will guide you to that right.
Well, I get a divorce after 25 years of marriage.
25 years of marriage, she just wanted to be happy. 25 years, and listen, they talk about guys or alimony and stuff. I think that here's what I would propose. If you're just unhappy, I'm just not doing it for you. I'm just not making it rain for you, whatever. You want to leave, you go ahead and leave, but you don't get anything. And in fact, you probably should have to pay me because I got to leave my house. If you had a source of income, I don't do that. I got to leave my house, leave my kids. That just is so unfair to me. So some states are now trying to put an end to no-fault divorce because of that. It's just crazy. Just absolutely crazy. Let's see. Once upon a time, an attractive woman would have to fight off men when they were in a public space. Not anymore. They stare and don't speak. They stare and they don't speak because the men have been shamed from these different videos that everybody's seeing, saying, don't talk to me in public. I would rather choose the bear, embarrassing them. There was one video about a woman. She had her phone down and a guy came up to her shooting her shot. And she said, I got 5 kids. And where you live at, is your house big enough? And you got a kid. Well, you got 1 kid. I can't do that, because you wanted her. Right. So guys are seeing this type of stuff, determining that the juice is not worth the squeeze, and then saying, listen, I'm not going to approach you. Right. Because I don't want to be put on blast. I don't want you screenshotting my stuff. I don't want you videotaping and recording me, putting it on the internet. And I don't want nuclear rejections, right? Your girls are standing over there. You talking about, look at this clown trying to talk to me and all this kind of stuff. They don't want to deal with that type of stuff. That's why they don't talk anymore. Again, the mouse utopia experiment, the roles become reversed. The roles become reversed for one reason or another. The roles become reversed. Now the ladies say, "How come men don't talk? I gotta come out my feminine to let him know it's okay." What happened to the masculine men? This is the answer. This is what I talk about all the time. This is the answer. This is what happened to them. This is what happened to the masculine men. They became beat down. Thank you so much, October, for us under 5 foot guys. I mean, under 6 foot guys. I must be on a minority because I love men 5'8", 5'9" with some muscle. But then again, I'm 5'3", so the 6 foot and over thing makes no sense to me. Yeah, listen. I saw one time a girl was 5'2", and she said she needed a man who's 6'2". She was 5'2", so she needed a man who's 6'2". Make it make sense. They date, movie, and food, and whatever happens. Yeah, I think after a little while, though, Miles, got to be honest, man, they're going to want to stick around. They're going to want to know this is going somewhere. And I don't blame them for that, right? They're risking a lot, giving up their bodies in time, So I agree. Glorious love stares and don't speak. I watched Tia Mowry's new reality show. She said maybe I should go back to my husband. We all saw this coming. Did she really say that? I have not been following her. Did she really say that? I saw somebody posted something with tears in her eyes, but I didn't watch it on YouTube. That's crazy. Did she really say that? I don't know if Corey's doesn't he have a girlfriend now? What did she think was going to happen? She's got to be my age, right? What is Tia? 44, 45? What did she think was going to happen? I don't understand why she would do that. That's probably why her sister stopped talking to her, right? Wow, that's wild. If she said that, that's crazy. If a man is short, he should go for less attractive. Well, he probably does. I think that a guy who's short. Well, what is short to you, Kim? What 5'11"? Is that short to you, Kim? Right? If a man is short, right? I think that most guys date within their wheelhouse. But listen, I'll tell you this. I tell this story all the time. I went to Vegas a while ago. I went to Orlando to see I was in Tampa to see my cousin, and I went to Virginia Beach. And I saw a dude shorter than me walking around with women who were absolutely gorgeous. Guys with stomachs walking the beach. So get your money up. I don't know what they would drive. I don't know what they were driving, what their finances were like. We're on the beach or wherever we were, but height isn't everything. A man can compensate for that, particularly if he has money. So, I don't know if he's got I don't know, maybe a big package too. I don't know, but a guy can compensate for that. Get in the gym, take care of yourself, eat right, have a good game, mouthpiece, be able to speak, have good confidence. And you can attract someone. And I'm talking about all those places I was at because I was in this frame of thinking like, what's going on here? Saw guys shorter than me, 5'5", 5'4", walking around, beautiful women. Some of them are at their height. A couple of them were taller than them. So it's not over for the short guys. It really isn't. I can't believe women are out there treating men this way. There's has to be to say no politely. Oh yeah, the whole. Listen, it's crazy. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen, not just on video, but I've seen it happen in real life. Guys shooting their shot and stuff. It's crazy. I'm in New York City. Only black men will look at you and not say anything. Puerto Rican and Dominican men have no problem saying hello or giving you a compliment without acting you owe them a phone number. That's an interesting phenomenon. I don't know. I'm not in New York City. And maybe the nuclear rejections are different from the Dominican and Puerto Rican men, because again, they haven't been raised in this society, presuming that they came straight from Puerto Rico or came straight from the DR. So I don't know. I'll take your word for it. Yep. Binge watch her show on Prime. She has been going on dates and such. She has now PTSD from dating. She's 46. So, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. I did not know that. That's crazy. Right? This is the extreme left swing in the dating market. Public shaming is less tolerated now. Yeah. Short men go out to tall, slim women. Some do. Some do. And a lot of times with tall women, because they can't get the guys taller than them, they want somebody, they'll give them entertainment. Absolutely. If you're a 5'10" woman and you run a guy, you really want a guy who's 6'3", and you can't the guy 6'3" is not looking at you, you might go after that guy. Crazy how some men will still mess with an ex-wife that abandoned her marriage and family, excluding the exceptions. Those women can't be trusted. Yeah, I don't know if I would take it back if I was Corey. I don't know. I gotta take your word for it. Okay, this is a lady who wants to dress provocatively in public. What do you guys think about this one? Oh, present, share screen, Facebook.
Okay. I think that sometimes some of y'all women really don't understand how territorial men are. That's biologically how they are. It's different if you were covered up, but baby, you got titty tape on. So yes, of course, a man who knows how men are going to look at you, knowing that there's going to be men who are going to be predators or going to pursue you, he's right for saying that. That's not meaning that he's insecure, he's territorial. That's a man's nature, that's absolutely okay. It's your responsibility as his woman to understand his nature and to also have boundaries with yourself. Knowing what you are exposing yourself to. I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna be quick. I'm so glad I can have conversations with my husband because I asked him, we had a deep conversation. I said, what is it about women that will make you not wife her? And the first thing he said, the way she presents herself. That's coming from a man. Men will tell you that if you dress provocative, they're going to see you as an object. If you dress sexual, they're going to see you as an object. Stop calling men insecure. That is their God-given right to say, I don't want my woman to present herself out here because not only is she a representation of me, she's a representation of herself. I need to see how you see yourself. I know we always talk about women's empowerment. Dressing like that is not women's empowerment, baby. You can try it all day long. There's nothing empowering about that.
Okay, so
No disrespect to you when I say that. Okay.
I could not agree more. I think she did a good job breaking that down. She did a good job breaking that down, and I don't know how this is not well known. And this is a protection thing, not only from a sense of self-respect, but as far as protection, right? If you're out and you dress like that and guys are hitting on you and whistling and turning their heads and being inappropriate, it's going to be up to me to stop that or take you out of there or whatever. And if I don't, I'm going to be seen as weak by you. And why would you let this man disrespect me and this, that, and the other, right? And now I got to get into a fight, or I got to get into a fight over something that didn't have to happen. So you guys talk about this whole man over God and all this kind of stuff. I think she was absolutely right. You could be gorgeous, beautiful, but if you don't have this idea, this mindset, this understanding about how you represent me, my family, my potential kids we're going to bring into the world, you don't understand that, and you think it's okay to dress like this, man, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable. I will speak if she's in my space, just being a gentleman. I need a visible invitation. Yeah, this is where guys are at. We need a visible invitation to walk across the room. I need a wink, a stare, a long stare. I need a flirtatious over the shoulder look. I need something, right? They are probably mad at her. Yeah. Modesty is extremely attractive. That is well said. Common sense is gone out the window. Yeah, it's confusing to me about how the people don't understand this. It's crazy to me. Thank you so much. Maybe I'll start the show a little bit later. Got a lot more viewers now. Y'all hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button. I think I got a couple more videos. I got to go to my Instagram here. I think I got like one or two more clips here. Who's this? This is me. Let's see. I don't know if this one's going to play, but we'll try it. No, it's not playing. Did this before. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that one. Let's try. Oh, this one. This lady has two husbands. What are y'all thoughts about this?
My husband of 26 years, and this is Tiger, my husband of 10 years. Look at this. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Every lady should have 2 husbands. In the 12th year of our marriage, Carl and I decided that I was going to have multiple partners because I had met and fallen for another guy. So I came back and reported that to Carl.
So we decided to talk about it. Like, what do we do? How do we go about this? And that began a 2-year journey of Kenya and I just kind of discussing things. We just had to figure things out. So we discussed it for a number of years. I finally came into the knowledge and understanding about feminine, expression, and realized you have to allow women to be free and express themselves. And as a man, I need to support her in doing that.
My name is Kenya. This is Carl, my husband.
I got to read through the comments here. Effing weak. He actually used as a man to describe himself. It's time to leave Earth and go to Mars. so who sleeps with who? Just punching him. Oh my goodness. More like servants, minions, and a husband. What happened to death to his part with first marriage? Isn't that against the law? I'm sure that they're not physically. Oh my God. Listen, so Instagram is funny just for the just for the comment section, man. It's just wild. Y'all still in NYC over here? Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Tonight's conversation is interesting. Ace hit a gold mine. I wonder if they had been successful at changing minds or creating any couples. I'm not following that. I don't know. Am I missing something there? Ace? Who's that? See you get about it, the New York men at NYC. Y'all from NYC? Man, that's right down the street from me. Kitty Rose is on point with her analysis and viewpoints. She is also a big proponent of self-accountability and holding other black women accountable for the foolishness too many portray and promote. Okay, so that was, I guess that's who that was. I don't know who she is. I have watched her a few times. I can't say I disagree with. Actually, I think all those panelists, they're pretty young in my estimation. Right? Probably mid to late 30s, mid to early to mid 30s, and they all see their advice is often good in my estimation. So those men have zero self-worth. I will never share. Yeah, this is betas, right? She's probably making a bunch of money. Why would you? I don't know why they would do that. She hit the simp gold mine. She might be built different. How different can that be, man? Come on now. Oh my God. Oh my God, man. Oh my God. Sausage party. That was funny. Kenya is an example of a Jezebel spirit in a marriage. It is an apparent that dominates that relationship. Very problematic. I guess that was a show, right? I guess that was a show. I don't know. That was just crazy. That was crazy. Tia won early in the game. She married the man that gave her virginity at age 25. I wish she could see and cherish what she had. There are people in the world who never experienced that. Listen, I think that there's something in the air. I think the divorce, and I'm saying this about myself too. I think the divorce is what's the word? Contagious. I'm having a brain fart there. I think divorce is contagious. And this has actually been studied. When one woman gets divorced, a lot of her friends get divorced. It's a domino effect. It's contagious. And I think that, her being in Hollywood and all this kind of stuff, she just got caught up. She got caught up, and now she realizing, I got this good man at home. He loved me, had never been with anybody else. And now she wants to run. Now you want to run the streets at 46 years old, 44, 45, whenever she was, when she got divorced. Bizarre. Well, who does that? I played the other lady too. Just like 25 years of marriage, I want to get out there and see what's out there. Now you see. Now you see. I have wondered if those husbands are on the DL and have secret partners. They're probably each other's secret partners, right? It's probably one big sausage fest, right? Crazy. That last clip you showed was from the live show called Tonight's Conversation. Okay. He got famous pandering as Ace Metaphor. Ace Metaphor. Yeah. I don't understand how she can do that as a woman. I don't understand it either. Maybe she was born with two vaginas. That's built different. That's definitely built different. Oh my God. All my friends are stereo man. I'm the only one divorced one for years. Well, that's good. That's good. But there have been studies that have showed that, you know, if one woman gets divorced, a bunch of her friends do it. So that's good. Hold strong. And suggest to them that they hold strong. Tell them what's out here. Tell them what is out here. Stick with your. I saw a video where a psychiatrist said single women and married men. Yes. I was actually going to do a reaction to that. So actually, did you send me that? You did send me that. Kim, you did send me that. I was actually going to do a reaction to it. But the research is all over the place. And when I looked into it, I'm actually glad you mentioned that. It's giving me a time to talk about it. The research about that single women and married men are the happiest. The research is a little bit more complex than that. The research says that, you know, and you have to adjust for money. So if you have good money, if you're a woman, you got a certain amount of money. Conversely, it's not the same for married men, right? Married men, you could be, you know, $30,000 a year guy, and your woman makes, you know, $25,000, but he's happier than a woman in the same financial bracket. So again, it's not as cut and dry as just, oh, you're a single woman, you're happier. No, there's other things that have to be in place. Maybe you have kids who are in your life. You have a good network of friends. You have good financial resources. When you take all of that together, then a single woman is happier. Then a single woman is happier than sometimes a married woman. But all those things have to be into play. So I was actually going to I do thank you for sending me that, and I was going to do reaction to it. I don't remember why I didn't do it, but I did look into the research there. So East Point, Kenya was the one who proposed bringing her other partners in marriage to her husband. Her brother's husband is also married with a young child. They did an interview and hardly initiated. These people are clowns to me. They're just clowns. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I think I got maybe one or two more videos here. All right, this one's a little different. This is not relationship stuff, but this one is talking about what's going on with this modern society and the beta stuff that's going on.
And when, but also watching over it, hovering, micromanaging. Are they playing with the right things? Are they bored? Let me help them. Mm-hmm. The self-esteem movement, give them ribbons and trophies, certificates and awards just for playing soccer or just for swimming rather than for being any good at it. A Nation at Risk was published saying American teenagers needed to be, more high achieving vis-a-vis their international counterparts. We needed more testing, more teaching to the test. All of these things meant that childhood was now watched and managed by parents. We also got safer in cars with seatbelt laws and car seat laws and bike helmet laws and bicycles. We got safer in our transportation. It led to this mindset of you can put a helmet on them always. You can bubble wrap every aspect of their environment. Prepare the road for the kid instead of prepare the kid for the road. All of those things happened in the span of 3 to 5 years. Very interestingly, there were a set of changes happening in this country in the mid-'80s that conspired to, in the aggregate, change all of childhood. Stranger Danger was born with a made-for-TV movie, Adam, about the abduction and murder of Adam Walsh in 1983. Everybody tuned in for that show, and it scared the bejesus out of everybody. The Playdate was born in 1984. Parents started arranging play with other parents, deciding with whom and when, but also watching over it, hovering, micromanaging. Are they playing with the right things? Are they bored? Let me help them. Mm-hmm. The self-esteem movement, give them ribbons and trophies, certificates and awards just for playing soccer or just for swimming rather than for being any good at it. A Nation at Risk was published saying American teenagers needed to be, more high achieving vis-a-vis their international counterparts. We needed more testing, more teaching to the test. All of these things meant that childhood was now watched and managed by parents. We also got safer in cars with seatbelt laws and car seat laws and bike helmet laws and bicycles. We got safer in our transportation. It led to this mindset of you can put a helmet on them always. You can bubble wrap every aspect of their environment. Prepare the road for the kid instead of prepare the kid for the road. All of those things happened in the span of 3 to 5 years. Very interesting.
So I think that this is another thing that happened to men, that happened to men. Now, as a child of Generation X, listen, we were outside all the time, scraping our knees and never running in the house, playing with hornets and kicking nests and digging up dirt and playing with worms and playing in abandoned buildings and all this kind of stuff that we were doing, right? And now you get to exactly what she said, these helicopter parents, and you raise these boys and you raise these men and they don't know anything and they're afraid to take risks and chances and all this kind of stuff. I don't think it's been good. I think that's all I want to show from there. I might have something. I think I might have one more video and then we'll call it for the night. Let's see. Come on. Oh, this is the last one. This is the last one I want to show. See, with the parent, we went from that type of parenting skills that the ladies just talked about. We're going to talk about a different one. No, Kim, I did not forget, but I am glad you brought it up. My concern was how to break. Was I going to do a live reaction to it because I wanted to show the research. But I did. If you still want me to do it, then send me a message and I'll still do it. But I can definitely. I talked about it now, but the research is not as cut and dry as the psychiatrist said. And I don't like when people, that's why I read stuff. I don't like when people do that. I don't like when people do that. You got to be accurate about that kind of stuff. So it just, and if you're reading that, or you listen to the psychiatrist who says, yeah, single women are happier than married, or as happy as married men, or happier than married men. And actually, I think what she actually said was that single women are the happiest. And that's just not the case. That blanket statement like that is not the case. The case is when she has money, when she has friends, when she has kids, and all these other things have to be in case. Then yes, in that scenario, she's very happy. And married men and married women are also very happy. So, and these different standards and whatever, the difference between married women and single women who are happy are different. And again, a married woman could be happy with a meager existence, but she has family and all that around her. So I didn't like how so that's why I looked into it. So, but thank you again for sending it, and thank you for bringing it up here tonight. Did Umar get married? Did I miss that? Where's my invitation? I didn't know that Umar got married. Listen, nobody did, man. Nobody. Listen, I remember, my time in the police department, right? We were talking about there was like an initiative, like in year 2000 or so, to get people to start passing out tickets to kids with no helmets on, right? And go to grab the kid and bring him to his parents' house and wears a helmet on and give him a ticket. All of us cops are like, we ain't doing that, right? Because it would be hypocritical. We all grew up not riding bikes and stuff. What are we talking about? So they never really enforced it, but there was definitely talk about doing that. So it's crazy. What are you talking about? We're not doing that. I think Princella is a comedian. I think she is a clown. Somebody else sent me a video of her. Thank you for sending it. I'm not going to do reaction to that. I think she gets too much airplay now. She's probably good for clicks and likes and building up content, but a lot of the stuff that she says, I looked into the stuff she says, it's all clownish. Here's something that she said. Here's something she said. She said that somehow the women, I can't remember the exact phrase, but somehow women imprint on men, and so they can find men's DNA in women, right? But the problem with that is I don't think she read the study, because they can't figure out why sometimes a woman would have a man's DNA in her. And her suggestion was, when a man enters into you and he ejaculates into you, then you wear that man forever. But that's not necessarily the case. There are sometimes when there's two embryos in a womb, one of them dies, and now if it was a boy and a girl, then now that boy's DNA can now be caught into the woman. Maybe she was pregnant at one time and the baby, she had a miscarriage, and now the DNA's in it. So there's all these different ways that male DNA can get into a woman. And so when she, again, here's another person who's just speaking nonsense and not giving his basic stuff, right? So that's why you got to look into stuff and what they're saying. So I don't think she's I think she's in college now trying to boost up her credentials or whatever, but I think she's a fraud. She just speaks. She has no understanding of psychology or evolutionary psychology or whatever. So yeah, sorry I'm late to the cookout. Chris, man, you make me laugh, man. So that's my opinion of Princella. I mean, she's just a clown, and I'm sad that everybody gives her so much airplay. The stuff that she says is just word salad. It's just nonsense. It's just crazy. It's crazy. I mean, if you can watch her and you just eat popcorn and just laugh at her, that's one thing. But people are listening to her, and she's on podcasts making money. She's a clown, complete clown. Here I am. Well, I appreciate you all, but here I am struggling. And people are just paying attention. Listen, sensation sells. If you don't learn anything else, sensation sells. Sensation sells. Off topic, could you do video about your transition from being law enforcement and to pursue another career? Yeah, I think I talked about it a little bit, but I can delve into that a little bit more. Yeah, I can definitely do that. Yeah. No, it did not stop spreading misinformation. He recently said he's still looking. Umar, listen, Umar, I actually love Umar. I really do. I think, but he's got the every issue that we all know is a valid issue. It is a problem. He could have done so much for the community if he just would have been a straight shooter, man. And it's really sad because I can't think of anybody, besides, we had Bobby Wright, psychologist Bobby Wright, Amos Wilson. Umar's up there with those guys as far as his intellect and as far as his public speaking and all that. Hands down, when he's talking about that, particularly with what's going on with young boys, nobody can touch him. But his personal life and all this other stuff, clown. And I love Umar. Any he comes across my feed, I watch it. Every podcast he does, I watch it. but I just feel, and in school, it's just too bad because his premise is right. His premise is right. Absolutely. Princella is this lady. I'm hesitant to call her that because she's definitely doesn't present as a lady. But she's a lady who talks about marriage relationships, and her thesis is basically that men and women were never supposed to be together, and if they are together, then the woman should be the leader. Men are not fit to lead. They never were. And men and women should never live together. And you should really be with a woman and only come together with a man in order to continuate the species. And if you're as a woman, you need to be with other women and be in romantic relationships with a woman. Things like that. She says. So and people love her. By love her, I mean she's constantly on podcasts. I haven't watched it. She doesn't come across my algorithm anymore. And I deliberately don't watch her because I don't want to see her foolishness. And every time I watch her and I listen to her, I'm like, that's not true. What you're saying is not true. You know, it's nonsense. So yeah, thank you, Kim. Yes, Chris, you did. Well, did you at least bring something? Yes. You saw her saga with B. Taylor. I didn't see that. Princella, I didn't see that. Princella is a walking contradiction, and her views are very toxic, in my opinion. Yeah, she's a clown. She's a clown. There's a lot of clowns out here. There's a lot of clowns. A lot of clowns. It's too bad. Not you, Big L. The woman in here lying about marrying two women. The woman in here lying about him marrying. Oh yeah. Right, Umar has never practiced personally what he's preached, but he's a great intellectual. Yeah, listen, he's far superior. And I remember him when he first started picking up steam. I'm like, this dude's going places, man. He's gonna really revolutionize some stuff, man. And you know, and here's where, you know, I know Kevin Samuels and all that. Well, just in general, like even at my time in the police department, they always said you need a wife. They used to tell us young guys as cops, go get yourself a wife. Stop. You cannot run around because you don't have any stability. You don't, and I would second this. You don't have any stability, and a wife will bring you that. There's no doubt about that. In the business world, police world, politics, right? These politicians who aren't, and sometimes, listen, it's not going to stop all the things. They're still going to run around and do whatever, but at least you'll have something to lose, and you'll be a little bit more careful. But Umar has done some stupid stuff in his personal life, some stupid stuff, and it's too bad. He really could have done something and started off a real revolution, in particular to the over medication of boys in starting a boys' school and all this. And he, at one time, he said that he was getting a lot of DMs or messages from a lot of rappers and famous people, musicians and athletes, saying that they would support him and stuff, but they can't be seen around him because not only because of his thoughts, but because of his personal life. And that's unfortunate, because he really could have done something, you know. And his thoughts on one of the biggest downfalls is he keeps harping on the snow bunny crisis, man. You got to get off of that, man. You got to get off of that. You got to, you know, it makes him just look like, and you know, he can't make steam within polite company to bigger venues to be seen around politicians, right? Because he's a pariah. He's, you know, he's a hot stove. You got to stay away from this dude because of this type of rhetoric. You can't, and it's too bad, because he could be sitting in those circles really making policies. It's too bad, man. It's too bad. Everyone knows who his target audience is and who asks for money, and that's been his downfall. Just, you know, he could have got grants. I know that he wants to build a school without government money, but he could have gotten some type of something. Or even if he would have you know, been able to garner the support of athletes even underneath the table, that would have been huge. But his personal life, man, it's too bad. Now he's talking about marrying two women. He can never be taken seriously and be on Fox News or CNN. He can never do that. And I'm not saying that should be the goal, but the goal, if you're going to try to become somebody who's really going to help make strides, and he could have really pushed for boys need their, in particular black boys, but all boys need their own space. The YMCAs, the Boy Scouts. He really could have been a force for saying and bringing scholarship to saying we need boys to be in their own spaces. He really could have been a prominent voice for that, and he blew it, man. and he blew it. And that was another thing too. Listen, that was never enough. He had to, what he had to do was create you had to donate $2 or $3 a month. That's what he should have been asking for. That's what $2 or $3 a month. You're funding just like they used to say with the you know, kids and over in other countries, you know, a price of a cup of coffee. You just give them a cup of coffee. If he had 10,000 black people just giving him $3 a month, that would support the school. That's what he should have done. That's what he should have done. And he could have built school. He could have built more than one school. It's too bad. It's too bad. Yeah, I agree with a lot of his views too, but he's just his personal life. I definitely think he has some mental instability. I didn't know his father did that. I didn't know that. But listen, a lot of really smart people have issues like that, you know. And while I have one, a lot of PhDs actually suffer mental crisis when they're going through their dissertations. So I didn't have one. What did you say? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah. So you can definitely see it that he's got some stuff going on there. It's too bad. It was too bad. Yeah, it was too bad. All right, we've been an hour and 38 minutes here. Any other questions? We talked about Umar. What else we talk about? Chris not bringing anything to the cookout. It's showing up late. The 4B movement. Pretty good. I want to show this last video here. Okay, we showed a video about a lady who was talking about the helicopter parenting. And we showed this last video, and we'll call it for the night. And this lady, it's hard to hear what the child is saying on this one. It's hard to hear what the child is saying, so I'll play it a couple times because I couldn't hear it the first time, but maybe you guys can catch it.
Who taught you to put that in the bag? Nobody. Get it the fuck out. I know I'm the food stamps. Yeah, get those. Those are my bag. Okay. Why did you add stuff up in the calculator? Yeah. I gotta say this shit first of mine. Oh, hell yeah. I'ma tell y'all this right now. These are mine. Don't touch them. But I know y'all both there. Come touch some and get another one. Got some things? Yeah. They'll go on the same day. Please for Tia. I'm stuck in my outfit.
All right, so I'll play it again here, but if you're not catching it, what she's saying is she's imitating her mother. This is, I guess, part 23 of My Daughter Acting Like Me on Food Stamp Day. First of all, glorifying that is just wild to me, but she's obviously imitating how her mother acts when they're grocery shopping, telling them to get stuff, put stuff back, adding stuff up on a calculator. And I finally caught what she said about something, y'all want these? And then she puts it back and says, they'll be gone the same day. So I'll let it run here. You guys can listen to it again.
I'ma tell y'all this right now. These are mine. Don't touch them. But I know y'all both there. Come touch some and get another one. Got some things? Yeah. They'll go on the same day. Please for Tia. I'm stuck in my outfit. Who taught you to put that in the bag?
Yeah, she did swear. Let's see. Somebody said that. Yes, she did swear. Yes, she swore. She's just imitating her mother, calculating stuff and saying, I can't pick up what she's saying at the end there when she says about these are $15. I don't know what she's saying after that, but I don't know who this is. Who the heck is this? I don't know who that is. So that's that. Let's see. What's wrong with Umar's personal life? He had a stripper gate. Umar had a stripper gate situation, and he said that he was celibate. The problem with that was he said he was celibate, and then he went to some city or town or something like that, and then some woman who was a stripper put on some modest clothing, approached him, and then he ended up having relations with her. This is all allegations, if I'm remembering this correctly. I don't want to get sued. and so and then after were intimate, she then put him on blast and emailed text messages and all this kind of stuff and recordings. She put it all over social media, and he said saying that he was celibate. Meanwhile, he did this, and there was another situation where somebody was something else happened. I can't remember the other one. There was another incident with a woman. I can't remember that. And then he's got 2 babies out of wedlock. He's always talking about, fixing the community. Okay, you had your babies out of wedlock and you're still not married. You're not married. What's going on with that? Just all that kind of stuff it just hit people wrong. All that kind of stuff just hit people wrong. Yeah, you had to follow him from the beginning. Hey, Lorelei, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, she did curse, spins like mumbling, and I'm assuming the mother is loud. And yes, I'm assuming that was her mother too, just thinking her daughter is just the cutest little thing. Really sad. You read through the comments here, and if you read through the comments, which I'm not going to do, some of them were actually supportive, saying this is cute and there's nothing wrong with this, and other parents are like, this is what's wrong with our community. So it was really a 50-50 split down the middle as to what their take was about her. I'll pass on this video. Ridiculous. I don't blame you. That's what Charlton Wright talking about. Ridiculous, shameful, and disgraceful. Yeah. One of his baby mamas is a stripper. Yeah. It's too. He was loving up on some skeezy rapper. I forget. Yeah. I know you're talking about. And I was actually going to do a show about it. I was actually going to do it, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to feed that kind of stuff. But this was like a month ago, and I think he definitely had a thing for her. And what was her name? What's her name? It's like she's like one of these modern rappers, not Glorilla, not Sexy Red, the other one, Sukiana. Yeah, this past summer. Yeah, Sukiana. So just all that kind of stuff. And again, the most important thing was he never did right with the school. And there was a lady who had challenged him about what was it? About providing a business plan for the school. And he never provided that. And she was right to challenge him about that. Where's the plan? How much is it going to cost? Right? You got it. Because it's what I'm saying, right? The methodology wasn't there. The methodology wasn't there. You can't pay a principal and have these teachers and renovate a school and buy computers and buy books. You can't do that on $50 donations. I mean, you just can't do that. So that's why I said if he would have did it differently, if he would have had a steady stream of at least 10,000 people giving him $3 a month, that's $30,000, right? That's a month. That would be a lot, and you probably still would have to have some different fundraisers here or there. But that was a mistake on his part. And if he would have had a business plan, and this is part of probably what some people say is his problem and his ego and his mental health, right? If you're going to do that, you got to have a business plan. You got to talk to other educators about what it's going to take to educate these people, and all this is not cheap, right? You want people to leave their $100,000 job to come work at your school. They ain't going to do it for $40,000, So I never watched Love, Dorsey. I don't watch all that. Change your mind, change your life. Yeah, I like that. Thank you. Yeah. I wonder why he didn't get any quiet investors from professional. Yeah, it was his personal life. I mean, I don't know this for sure, but I'm assuming, because he always talked about these people are hitting me up, but he blamed it on his radical take on staying within your race and all this kind of stuff. I don't think that would have been an issue. I don't think that would have been as big of an issue. That's just my opinion. It's really too bad. I really feel bad. I mean, listen, he's great to watch, entertaining, but that was a blown opportunity, particularly for boys. And so hopefully somebody comes along and does it. I'd love to see love to see that come to fruition. So he's great at running his mouth, but contradictory behavior. Yeah, yeah, it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's a grown man. He know what he's doing. I do think he's not going to try to diagnose anyone. This is my humble opinion. I do think he suffers from a little bit of narcissistic kind of stuff. And I think a woman would have kept him grounded, making sure he's home at night, make sure he's not traveling around, making sure he's staying on task and on purpose. I think a woman would have helped him to do that. The opening question is loaded. I would date a man who makes less than me, but has to be confident in who he is and where we are heading in our future. Okay. 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 He's always saying that. And he's always saying that, but and he probably if he opens a school, here's my prediction. If he opens a school, it'll open with 50 kids in the area. I mean, and it's still, he's still got to provide food for these kids. He's sleeping overnight. I mean, he's talking about a huge undertaking, and I don't know what he's making. I know he's got his YouTube channel, which is doing pretty well. I know he's doing these speaking tours. I don't know what he gets. I looked it up one time. I don't know what he's getting for these speaking tours, but whatever he's getting, it's not enough. And again, I think he needs a good, solid, continual rotation of a minimum 10,000 followers, giving him $3 to $5 a month, and maybe more. Give him $100. Give him what you want, but minimum's got to be $3, right? I would think. And listen, we did the same thing with our police organization, our police activity league. There were contributions. We would give $1 every paycheck and all that. We did, the cops would do it, and then we also hit up the teachers to do that. The teachers and the cops were giving a rotational basis of $1, $2, $2 every time they got paid, and that was just to sustain, just buying new basketballs and all this kind of stuff, right? So that model works, right? The recurring stuff works. And if people are seeing that, man, okay, you got the school, especially now if you got the school and stuff, and he did that, if you gave him $3, if he would change his model, I think that he would be able to blow it up. I really think so. How much lower? I don't know. I don't know how much I believe y'all. I know y'all saying it. I believe you. I believe you. I don't know if you're still here. Glorious love. But you say you did it. Okay. Yes, he's set dates all over. It's been over a year now. It's been over a year. So it's too bad. I really feel bad. I really feel bad. Any other questions or comments? Thank you all for listening. You just went through a couple of videos. I think I do appreciate the 4B movement question. That was a good question. I gave my thoughts about that. I think we talked about a lot of good stuff here tonight. I would definitely do that off topic. Could you do it about your transition from leaving the police force? That'll be good, because it's not easy for cops to leave. It's not easy for cops to leave, but I'll talk about that on the show. I'll definitely do a show about that. We talked about the two husbands, 4B movement, Umar, raising kids, guys 5'8". Good stuff. All right, thank you guys. Make sure you hit the like button. If there's anything else, make sure you guys have my email here. I would assume you guys have my email here. Yeah, show topic and all that. So you all have a great night. I still got to grade some papers. Shira 7, sprinkles. Shira 7, man. She's another clown. Glorious. I was just talking about I was giving you said, I think it was you that said that your husband made more than you, right? I believe it was you, or was it October? Somebody said that your husband made more and that you were good with that. Shira 7, I think, is a clown. Yes, we talked about Prince Ella. I'm trying not to bring up her name. Now she's going to be all over my feeds and stuff because you guys keep asking me about that. I don't want that. Her, Sprinkle, a clown. He's two clowns. Thank you, Miles. I appreciate that. Sprinkle. That lady is married. She's giving women the wrong advice, and shame on her husband. I'll be like, man, listen, stop telling these women this nonsense, right? Stop telling them. I'll be like, listen, stop telling these women these nonsense. You're not going to get them married. You're finessing dudes. He's probably just taking it and going out to eat with the money she's making. It's too bad. Too bad. So you missed the context of the question. I was just asking, if you would be okay with your husband making more, right? I forget too, it was so long ago, but the context was, would you be okay with you as a woman making more than your husband? So I forget the exact context where that came from too, so I have to rewind it. So listen, to say the least, October. to say the least. Oh my God. I think that she was 7. Is that her name? Whatever her name is. I think that he's probably just enjoying it. My wife is just doing what she's doing. She's making a little extra money. Same thing what we saw with this video, right? Just enjoying it, just laughing it up. It's no big deal. Same type of philosophy. Just no big deal. Just okay, we make this money. We'll go on vacation, and you tell these guys this and tell them what they want to hear, and they're stupid enough to believe you. But that's just damaging the community. That's damaging the community because women are listening to that. Women are listening to that. And it's nonsense. Her, Princella, here again, I'm bringing it up again. It's just crazy. Candyland has spoiled black men. What do you think? I'm not following that one. Sheraton's husband is old, short, and unattractive. Oh, I never saw him. Shira 7, I'm saying. That's why he got what he got. They're from Texas, where they're very color struck. He's dark skinned old man, and she sure is pretty and light skinned. And listen, she's got to be making 10, 15 grand a month or so, right? So he's probably enjoying it, going out to eat. I don't got to work that hard anymore. You just make it. That's too bad. It's too bad. It's too bad. It's too bad that she got that following like that. Listen, man, there's a lot of people out here who are looking for direction, for leadership, for guidance. And it's, it's really too bad. And that is another human downfall, psychology wise, is that always looking for this leader, this new guru. It's too bad. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, as always, you guys. All right, I got papers to correct, and I'll see you guys. The video dropping tomorrow morning. I forget which one it is, but one is in the pipe. So you guys take care of yourselves. For instance, a woman probably cannot make 90K and the man bring home 30K and feel like you need it once they have a relationship. Yeah. All right, you guys have a good night. Now, if it's gonna be all Dignity's fault here if Princella is all in my algorithms now. I'm not gonna like that. So you guys take care. Have a good night.